mean,
Mm.
if you think about your babies, right? When
Right.
the babies come into the world, they're just like, oh, they're just this amazing miracle of life,
Yes. Yes.
so full of possibility, so awake and tuned in, and and even when they're not awake, they're just miraculous, and we're so enthralled with them. And this was us, right? And this child is only knows love,
Mm-hmm.
only knows love, and is so curious about everything, right? It's so new and interesting. And for a time, we hold great reverence for that baby until they start to develop a personality of their own,
Mm. How dare they?
right? And they have some other ideas about what to do with that magic marker, or what happens with that yogurt or whatever.
Right.
And then like all this, our reactivity comes up, and we start to mold the child and shame the child and do all these things that unconsciously, right? Because of the way things need to be. And that's going to happen,
Hmm.
right? But if we as parents can actually notice our reactivity and notice our child is not in our, like they have no intentionality to harm us, to hurt us, to try to control us. Don't know that. If we have those thoughts, that's us imposing it
Hmm.
on that situation. That's our own stuff that's rising in those moments.
Hmm.
And so similarly, if we know how to actually recognize that there is a child within all of us that wasn't heard or seen, that we didn't have always those helpful adults tuned in, it's just how humans are with each other. But if
Hmm.
we can recognize that that exists and make the time and space, even in a brief moment, even to know going in, like this is going to happen, right? I can't tell you how much better things go when I manage my own energy, when I'm in a reactive state, when we're busy and doing this or that, and we have multitasking and we're not really present. And then all of a sudden, and things aren't going well with the kids. And it's
Right.
just like, okay, pause. I need to pause. And this is a moment right here, right now. Like all of my stuff around being organized and being responsible and being on top of everything and handling it all, like all of that pressure is, I can feel it. And I can just notice it and let it go and tell that kid that's got pressure on her, it's going to be okay. It's not a big deal. It's going to be okay. It's not a big deal. And I can pause whatever's happening and I can rest in that. And my kids can watch me right then and there. And things go a lot better.
Hmm.
Things go a lot better because now we can connect. Now we can choose the loving response. Okay, so this is a dynamic process, but understanding that all of the situations that life will bring to us, when the turmoil is there, all of the stuff we've ever dealt with, all the patterns, like we all have a thing, right? Like whether you're a perfectionist or you don't feel like you belong, or you are less than in some kind of way. Some kind of way we're less than. Whatever way that manifests for you, that pattern comes up in those moments. And so I would invite everyone listening to understand that this is the opportunity for healing and growth, right? It's not comfortable. But it's even better if we practice these tools. It's hard when you're in the middle of it, right? It's like, if you're an athlete or you're a performer,
Right.
and being thrown into a situation where you need to perform when you haven't practiced,
Right.
you're going to be struggling. It's going to
That's
be that
right.
much harder. Now, sometimes it's a great motivation to learn, right? We typically learn when we're in pain. But, this is where it's such an exciting time with programs like this, and the beauty of the internet when we use it well is that we can access these tools and start to practice them in our everyday
Right.
lives. So that
Right.
when it happens, it's like, okay, it's game time now. I'm looking, I'm listening. And this is when I want you to understand we can level up in those moments, right? It's like we get quiet. We're looking around. We're discovering what we need to let go of. We're rising into a higher version, right? We're actually seeing capabilities in ourselves we didn't fully appreciate or know.
Mm.
And
You know,
this is where resilience happens.